Hello, my friends. Welcome to day 10 of HalloweenX right here on Animation Station. As I've discussed before, Disney has some pretty dark stuff. While most of these moments are pretty brief, they're still pretty scary and pretty, dark. So let's dive right into the top 10 darkest Disney moments. Apologies, I'm still half asleep, so I'm just gonna fly through this, okay? Hope you guys don't mind. I'm just gonna fly through this one today because I got somewhere to be. So, number 10 is Clayton's Death from Tarzan. When I watched this film for the first time, this was the last thing I expected. During the final battle, Clayton gets tangled up in some vines that wrap around his neck, and then he suffers a death by a morbid hanging. The body's shadow can be briefly seen by a flash of lightning, but that is still a pretty disturbing way to die in a Disney movie. Number 9 is Ellie's miscarriage from Up. The beginning montage of this movie is pretty cute, with the exception of one especially dark moment. During the montage, we see that Ellie becomes pregnant and is decorating the baby's nursery, only for her to suffer a devastating miscarriage a few scenes later? Jeez, when did Disney movies become so brutally realistic? Number 8, The Demolished Village and Shane's father's death from Mulan. It starts out pretty harmless with a fun little song about women, but takes a dark turn when they encounter a village that was completely decimated by Shan Yu and his Hun army. If that wasn't already dark enough, it also turns out that Shane's father and his army were all mercilessly killed along with everyone in the village. All that remained was a baby doll and the general's helmet, which increases Shane's determination to stop them at any cost. This dark and bleak moment is why Mulan is a masterpiece of animation and still one of Disney's best films. Number 7, the horrific death of Coral and 400 unborn baby fish from Finding Nemo. Wait, this was in a Disney movie? After some cute moments between Marlin and his wife Coral, a barracuda viciously attacks them out of nowhere. Marlin wakes up and finds that his wife and 400 of his unborn kids are all dead, leaving him and one last egg he names Nemo as the only survivors. Geez, even Pixar isn't safe from Disney's darker side. Number 6, Gideon's brutal attack from Zootopia. Since the infamous shock collar scene was left on the cutting room floor as an unfinished deleted scene, then I have to go with the second most brutal scene from the movie. In the very beginning of the film, a young kid, Judy Hopps, stands up to the bully Gideon the Fox, almost rhymes there, and gets viciously attacked for it. This one is especially dark because it's a brutally realistic portrayal of real-life bullying. Number 5 is Scar's death from The Lion King. A lot of villains have pretty horrifying ends in Disney movies, and Scar is no exception. After he was defeated by Simba and thrown over the cliff, Scar met a gruesome end when he was eaten alive by his former ally hyenas, then they're all burned to ashes in the pit of fire. Need I say more? Number 4 is the plane crash from The Incredibles. Now, I don't mean the crash itself. No, I'm talking about Mr. Incredible's reaction to what he thinks is the death of his entire family at the hands of his arch-nemesis, Syndrome. Yes, they do survive, but for a while, Mr. Incredible thought that his entire family was dead and was left to cry in the dark prison room over his dead family and his very bad choices. That's pretty freaking dark. Number 3, Pleasure Island from Pinocchio. Wow, just wow. How did Disney get away with this? An amusement park that turns kids into donkeys forced into slavery? Just how? Number 2 is the near-death experience in the furnace from Toy Story 3. This was so dark that, in my opinion, it kind of felt out of place in this threequel, even though I know that others are going to disagree. In this infamous scene, all the characters accept death as they draw closer to the pit of fire. Thankfully, the aliens save them, but still so freaking dark. Number 1 is Brolos Death from The Hunchback in Notre Dame. The most evil villain gets the absolute worst way to go. How fitting. After he chases Esmeralda to the top of the burning church, the devil himself has had enough of him and breaks the stone gargoyle and drops him into the pretty, literal burning fires of hell below. The scariest villain gets the most horrific end, which is the darkest Disney moment ever. While these moments are all pretty dark, I'm still glad that they're in these films, aside from the number 2 pick that felt out of place. All these moments fit incredibly well into the films and help show kids that not everything in real life is very pleasant and that it's okay to be scared. Some may overstep a tad, but I'm still glad that Disney isn't afraid to show the darker aspects of reality. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Uh, until day 11, have a spooktacular day and take care.